So I thought we had a little more time before making this video, but shit hit the fan. I mean, hit it in a big way. Now, I'm not gonna say I didn't see this coming, all right? We even made a video talking about the things that Trials needs to succeed. And that was pretty straightforward. But let me be honest with you, it's much easier looking back and saying, hey, this needs to be corrected or this needs to be adjusted versus looking forward. And now that we're about 3 weeks into Trials, we need to talk about the state of it, where Trials of Osiris sits, what's been the biggest concerns here lately, and how all of these things, if not addressed in a timely manner, will result in Trials of Osiris dying just like Trials of the Night. So I came across a Reddit post yesterday. It was essentially a post saying there's nothing better to me than streamers whining. Corky Salamander here stated, y'all said that the casual players shouldn't get rewarded. Y'all said Trials of Osiris was no place for casual players. Y'all said it was meant for top players. Well, now we're all leaving, and your matches are finally the sweat fest you wanted them to be, but it's just not fun anymore, is it? Now you got to face people who are actually in your skill level, and it's just not fun having to work so damn hard just for a single kill, is it? Choke on your tears, because you won't find any damn sympathy from the rest of us. Sincerely, the cannon fodder. Okay, look, whatever you want to say about Reddit, many players that play actively, daily, and invest in the game on a constant basis are on this Reddit thread, and they upvoted the shit out of this. For good reason. Trials is a sweaty playlist that will only get sweatier. Week by week, this playlist has upped the tempo, so much so that many players just said, the hell with this playlist, I don't even care. And that's sad. If I had to rate the things that would kill this playlist off the fastest, a declining population is at the top of that list. Now, there's a lot of things that contribute to a declining population in something like Trials. A sense of hopelessness, especially for your lower skill tier players. A lack of loot incentive. Now, this is something that's actually noticeable, not only on the front end of a Trials card, but also on the back end. There needs to be a noticeable climb all the way to flawless that is rewarding, but at the same time, on the low end of the card, games 1 through 4 or 1 through 5, that too is also rewarding. Another thing that can result in a declining population is lack of fair play or cheaters, hackers, something that's extremely noticeable on PC. I've been hearing that consoles is in a good state for the most part, but on PC just yesterday during our trial carries, we ran into 3 teams of hackers, all with previous VAC ban history, meaning everyone that we ran into that we suspected of cheating, we would go and look at their account and it would actually state on Steam that there had been a previous VAC ban on that account. And it was either that or it was a new account, which is always a dead giveaway. And we said this was going to be a problem way back when we said that if there wasn't going to be a paywall of some sort, we were going to run into an issue where free-to-play players would be swarming the Trials playlist with cheats, hacks, everything you can think of. So before you jump up and say, hey, I can't even step inside of Trials because skilled players are absolutely destroying me, if you're on Steam, I want you to realize something. It's a good chance you may have actually ran into a hacker. Like, it's a very high probability that you're running into hackers. Word on the street, at least from what I've seen, is the price on getting a base aimbot that can work effectively in something like Destiny 2 is $20. $20 to have a sniper rifle that can see you through walls, snipe you the moment you peek, and an aimbot that could toggle on and off depending on whether or not you're losing that match or winning, which is why they're so difficult to catch. And we're going to go over some profiles today and actually show you what the VAC bans look like, show you what the players look like that we went up against. I've already made an entire guide on how to catch cheaters in this game, what they look like. Even then though, they don't care because there's no risk associated with it. If a cheater gets caught and he gets banned, he just makes a new account, jumps right back into Destiny. And again, I've showed this in the past. They can buy a new account that's already leveled up to play inside of Trials for $5. These accounts sell for $5, man. So $5 later, they're back in the game. Now, another reason why hacks exist, a lot of those hackers are actually carrying people to the lighthouse. I've literally seen the advertisement on my own YouTube videos of people charging $40 to carry your account to the lighthouse. Now, some of these guys legitimately do it, right? Others just do account recoveries. But even amongst the account recoveries and the squads that I've seen before, they are saying it's becoming too difficult to do it, which actually leads to hackers. Man, there's no guaranteed way to get to the lighthouse than having somebody just aimbot their way there or even God mode their way there. And if you're one of those guys that allows your account to hop in the same lobby as one of these, you may think you're safe, but you're not. or at least you shouldn't be. You should 100% be held accountable. But the reason why that person hops into the same lobby or the same fire team as one of these hackers is because they've already approached that level of hopelessness that has been breeding itself inside of trials ever since week 1. That hopelessness being nothing I can do will get myself the gear and loot in Trials of Osiris. That's a terrible feeling, and I know too many people feel that way already, and it's only like week 3. So how do we get rid of that? How do we get rid of that hopelessness? Well, you reward low-skill players on some level by just simply participating in trials. Now, Bungie has tried to do this with the token system. Whether you win or lose, you still get a token, right? But the problem is you got to get at least 3 wins or 5 wins or 7 wins to unlock weapons from trials to even allow it to be in the loot pool when you turn in your tokens to Saint 14. Now, last week, this was a problem because at 3 wins, people unlocked the shotgun. So this resulted in people actually getting on their other account, unlocking the shotgun again, and just resetting their card over and over. This kept them in that threshold on the low end of the card, and they just simply farmed tokens. That's all they did. And can you blame them? They're limiting their loot pool, they're collecting tokens, and they get to go against people in connection-based matchmaking instead of card-based matchmaking, making their games somewhat easier, or more notably easier than it would be in the later cards. But this actually had a terrible reaction to your more low-skill players as they were going up against people that should be deemed high-skill players and should be further in the card, but were on the lower end of the card because they were just simply farming up tokens. That was actually a more effective strategy than just simply going flawless, which is terrible. You'll notice that many of these things overlap. Hopelessness and lack of loot incentive really start to just kind of combine together, both of which is felt among our casual players as well as our high skill players, but most noticeably amongst our low skill players. I thought the bounty system back in D1 was great. You picked up some bounties from Brother Vance, and just by participating, you would complete those bounties, turn them in, and possibly get a weapon or a piece of armor. I got my first Doctrine of Passing from a bounty. Yeah, you didn't have to go flawless. So there was a lot of people week after week that would actually come in there, pick up the bounties, and they would say, hey, you know what? We might get wrecked every single game, but by simply participating, we can turn in one of these bounties each week and possibly get a weapon or a piece of armor. On the other side of things, we talked about it yesterday during the stream. Jay even mentioned how great it would be if these bounties were not weekly bounties, but daily bounties. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, an opportunity there every single day to fulfill one of these bounties and get a piece of reward from trials through it by simply participating. Now, Bungie's way of fixing the whole token farm thing this past week was actually to move the sniper rifle. Instead of it being the 3-win reward, they moved it to the 7-game win reward. By the way, it probably won't be static. It'll eventually be the 3-win reward, and they'll just cycle these things back and forth, right? All of these weapons will be rotated, as well as armor, as a different win reward. So now our folks from last week that just felt hopeless trying to get 3 wins, well, that's set in even deeper this week. 7. It's a lot more than 3, which is why so many players have opted out of playing trials this past weekend, thus leading to more decline in trials population. Personally, the easy fix to all of this, having weapon bounties or armor bounties present on a daily basis that refreshes every single weekend that every player can pick up and fulfill by just simply participating in trials, is a great way to keep that casual player from feeling so hopeless inside of trials. Now, what about the other end, the flawless end? For the players that do make it flawless, now that you're just handing out rewards and weapons and armor and everything else, bro, what's the point of going flawless? Well, bro, what's the point of going flawless now? Think about it. There's no adept weapons. I already brought this up before. There's no adept weapons. There's no guaranteed Ascendant Shard every time you go flawless. You get it once every week and then that's it. What is the point to go flawless? There really isn't any point. There's no true incentive to go flawless. If you go flawless once on that character, you get an Ascendant Shard every single week, as well as some Pinnacle gear, but that's about it. You get to flex an emblem with some glow. Yeah! Listen, I said it a long time ago that if we didn't have adept weapons, this was going to spell disaster for incentivizing people to go flawless. And with the way the token system is, many players just sit there and farm tokens. What's the point of going flawless? I can just farm tokens. So our solution to this is simple. Obviously, add adept weapons. A perk like Celerity, being a great perk that it is, was meant to be an intrinsic perk, Bungie. That was meant to be part of an adept weapon that cosmetically looked different and didn't necessarily benefit you anywhere else inside of Crucible, but benefited you in those last Guardian situations in trials. That's it. It's a nice little cherry on top to incentivize flawless. But then on top of that, let's take flawless another step forward. We talked about a guaranteed Ascendant Shard. every time you go flawless. Not just for the first week, every single time. Upgrade materials, you'd be surprised how many people would cut their own toes off just to get some upgrade materials. Obviously, it's faster to just do Nightfall ordeals, but this would be a nice bonus to say, hey, let's try to make it flawless to get this. On top of that, I really wish Trials would actually go the Sundial route. Sundial really had it going on, guys. When you think about it, you completed the Sundial event. You had the options of the weapons you have discovered based on the obelisks you have unlocked. Then you actually got to choose the specific weapon that you wanted. Imagine going flawless. You get up to the chest, you open it up, and instead of things just pouring out at you, you get a screen. It shows the weapons you've discovered, the shotgun, the sniper, the rocket launcher, whatever, the auto rifle. And you can actually choose which one you want a chance of getting a random roll off. There's many different rolls with a lot of RNG in there. Obviously, if you like sniper rifles, choose a sniper. If you're a fan of autos, you want that summoner, bam, choose it. And if you choose the boon that allows you to get double rewards on flawless, you could choose 2 of the same weapon. This gives you some control of going flawless, which, considering how difficult it is to go flawless, having more options and more control over your loot is going to incentivize many people to go flawless. Yes, you can just farm bounties up every single day, every weekend, and have a chance of getting one of those weapons or one of those pieces of armor. Or this weekend, you're going to get straight nasty with you and your friends. Y'all make it to the lighthouse. Instead of just getting there and getting a warlock bond or some other crazy crap, you get to choose what you want. On top of that, it'll be adept, making it even more special. So you need loot incentive on both ends. One, to allow the casual player the opportunity to come away with something. And on the other end, the opportunity for flawless players to walk away with something that truly feels pinnacle. Not just a number, but the actual text adept in parentheses next to that weapon, indicating that that player had been flawless. So that's the whole loot debate. And again, with the whole token farm thing, players staying in games 1 through 5 and getting their tokens there and resetting, I think you just simply allow for tokens to gradually increase with each game and greatly increase on flawless game will incentivize players to keep going deeper in the card. And again, the more you get those skill players deeper in the card, the more you get them out away from the players that are just trying to get in there and have a fighting chance. We see this with the XP boon. The boon that gives you XP ramps up throughout the card. As you get deeper in the card, you get more and more XP. Matter of fact, I actually think it triples on the final win of the card. So in some cases, if you were to get tokens of 3 tokens per game and say it ramps all the way up to 12, 15, or 20, on the final win of a card, boom, there you go. More incentive to get further into the card. Of all the things that Bungie could have been stingy on, Trials loot was not one of them. And I feel almost responsible for this because I said that Trials and its flawless gear should be for the sweaty of the sweaty. But what I meant by that was not regular gear. I meant that for adept gear, adept weapons, flawless weapons. I thought the bounty system back in D1 was great. I thought it gave people rewards, even for just participating. My God, I took off from Destiny for almost a year. I came back. I had no friends to play with. I was LFGing. I wanted a doctor to pass and I couldn't get it. I couldn't go flawless. Your man was getting wrecked. Was rocking a Havoc Pigeon. Didn't have any good weapons, dude. But I had a bounty and I completed it. And I got a doctrine of passing. It was my first one. Ultimately allowing me to eventually get flawless and obtain the adept version of it, which I was very happy to get. But those step ups is what drove that hopelessness out and incentivized me to get further and further into the card, improving on a week-by-week basis. Now, all of these things are definitely the most important, which now takes us to hackers. Yes, you know who you are. I ran into you yesterday. It was wild because the multitude of people that we ran into yesterday, everyone that we suspected of possibly cheating, we would go look at their profile, and their profile will say a VAC ban is on record or multiple VAC bans on record, meaning they had used cheats at some point and they'd actually been banned for it. Now that ban stays on their profile. Some of these guys have been banned recently. This voluptuous rear end was banned 63 days ago. This other guy banned 18 days ago. Yet they were still allowed to play Destiny 2 Trials. Like, I don't know what the time frame is before you're allowed to jump back into these games, but 18 days ago does not seem that long ago to have a VAC ban on record to suddenly be like, okay, yeah, you're good, man. You're innocent. Get back in there, bud. buddy. And again, a VAC ban is Valve's anti-cheat system. And if you actually have a VAC ban, you immediately are not allowed to play on these games. Now, I don't know if it's possible for Destiny 2 to be on this list, but it would be nice, right? If a guy has a VAC ban, they shouldn't be allowed to play Destiny 2 PvP. Either way it goes, the accounts that we highly suspected of cheating, to no surprise, had previous history of cheating. If you have a previous history of cheating on that account, you should not be allowed to play at least Trials, or maybe not even Crucible for that matter. And I hate to bring it up, the last time I truly enjoyed PvP to the fullest was actually when we were still on Battle.net. I felt like whatever it is that Blizzard had in place on their client seemed to stop all of that mess. The current system that we have now, you have guys like this that MTash went against, that is a level 0 account on Steam, that just got made. He has 1 game ban on record. He was banned yesterday, and there's a good chance he'll be back here next week. And if he's not, he's simply just gonna make another account and be right back at it. Whatever anti-cheat system Bungie has is not working, man. I mean, I can't even stress to you how much it's not working. To me, the anti-cheat system almost seems like, hey, if you run into a cheater, report them and send us a screenshot. That's not an anti-cheat system. The result is still clear. We still lost games because people are toggling. And I do have to wonder how much of these reports that we send in are having to be manually vetted. And what is the process of identifying these cheaters? Because currently right now, there's actually a video in the run for Movie of the Week with almost 200 upvotes of a guy using aimbot. Dude's got his likes and dislikes disabled. He even deleted a comment yesterday, which was like the most upvoted comment, which said, watching this before the permaban. He has since deleted that comment, I guess. He's also deleted all of his video clips from Twitch, so you can't see any of his past VODs. A dead freaking giveaway, man. And there's been other people onto this guy for a very long time. But what I'm saying is that if there is videos being approved on Bungie's website of a streamer using aimbot for his montage, then what is the process that Bungie uses to identify cheaters? They've not been transparent. They just said that there's an anti-cheat system at work that should be auto-banning people. If it is auto-banning people, I can only imagine how many cheaters we would have if it wasn't. I wish we had more clarity on the matter, on what it is Bungie's doing about cheaters, other than just saying we are addressing it, because that's bullshit at this point. It's rampant. It's happening way too much, way too often. And really, as much as this affects me, imagine the person who finally makes it to 6 wins, finally gets there and is on their 7th game. They're about to touch flawless and they run into a hacker. They run into somebody toggling aimbot. So I don't know where all the money's going. I don't know where the Eververse money's going, the season pass money. Jesus, I drop at least $60 every single season on silver. I don't know where that money's going, man. I don't know. Trials, to me, the way it has been shipped, does not feel like a permanent playlist. This feels like another season of Gambit, a seasonal activity just to get things by to get into the next season. It seems too temporary the way it has been shipped. I know there's been a lot of love and care put into this playlist, but the cheating, either Bungie needs to just come out and say, hey, we can't stop it. This is the vetting process that we're going to be doing. This is it. And honestly, I would actually be okay with that kind of candid response. Or Bungie does say, hey, yeah, this is going to cost a lot of money. We're going to have to get on this and truly push forward an anti-cheat system that is going to cost a lot, but it's going to work. And we're not even talking about all the errors, because I know there's been a ton of people that's just been beaver errored and errored out of their mind to where they've been kicked from Trials. It's just been a shit show, man. An absolute shit show. So what is the state of Trials? Well, there's been a lack of incentive there to go flawless. There's been a sense of hopelessness that has crept into our casual players, making them feel like they can't even get a single win. So what's the point? There's been cheats and a number of cheaters that have been cheating on a regular basis with previous VAC ban history that are still allowed to cheat and are still allowed to play inside of Destiny 2 Trials. And currently right now, there does not seem to be a fix for any of these things. So that's my thoughts on it, guys. Not a very well-structured video. Kind of rambled here. Do I like playing 3v3 elimination? You're damn right. I love it. I love it. The mode itself is fun. And this Sandbox too, it's still fun. But to me, the Sandbox is the least of my concerns. Whereas previously, it was always the top concern, right? It was always a thing that I was like, oh my God, if only the Sandbox was better. If only we didn't have double primaries. If only we had radar. Right now, big things being loot incentive, the lack of incentive to even go flawless, and cheaters running rampant. We knew this was going to happen. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching. And as always, all right, come right here to this right here. We're going to ease our way up to right here. Come right here. Jay, be careful, be careful. All right, now pop it now and go over this wall and just hit one person. You don't have to go for 2. Hit one person.
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.